I think we should be good. Yeah, I think we're good. So, what's up, everybody? Today we're going over the community's BLUELOCK hot takes. Some of them I've seen that some of them are pretty good. Some of them are really out there. Some of them are mine. Some of them are Raven's. Hiryo hasn't seen any of these. Raven hasn't seen any of these. But we're gonna basically debate them. But I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. So, whichever you guys want to go first and introduce yourselves. Oh, I don't think they can hear you for some reason. This always happens. This happens every time, and it's so annoying because yeah, I don't know why it does this every time. It just doesn't want to. Yeah, they can't hear. I don't know. Yeah, I hate this so much. Why does it always do this? Here. No, it's on my end because it's happened before. I don't know what. I hate this so much. What's up? No, I don't have it on. I have it muted just because.
Oh yeah, that's why. I'm pretty sure because it's on like Google Chrome. Wait, so unmute it real quick. And then
Yeah.
everyone can hear. So I'm pretty sure because
Can y'all?
of that, it's like technically a desktop audio.
Can y'all hear? Let's see.
Yeah.
Nah. No, I don't have it on. I have it muted. This is. Oh yeah, that's why. There we go. Okay.
This would never happen to me.
Yeah. Can y'all? Yeah, it's coming out for video. I'm waiting to hear it out of my phone. I think they can hear you guys now. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit, and then I'm just gonna wait for the chat to see what they say if it needs anything. But the audio's going through now. The audio's going through.
You can't hear me?
Wait,
Hello?
it's gone.
Yeah, it should be on.
Okay. My glorious mute king is crazy, bruh.
They still say no, but I heard you from out of my phone. Like,
This is so scuffed. Please.
yeah. All right, you both are playing out now.
Okay.
All
Y'all are
right,
both playing out now.
turn it up.
If I'm too
There we
quiet,
go.
I'm just gonna hold my microphone to my mouth.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna have this like, hello, do
Yeah, I'm
some
just
like ASMR or something like that, like.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah. All right.
Heart,
All right.
bruh.
I've cranked it max volume. I can
Max
hear y'all,
volume?
Like, it's max volume, and
Let
it's
me
playing out
mute
of my
it.
AirPod right now.
Hear it.
It's good
Yeah.
now. 5 minutes, and we already had some problems in 5 minutes. There we go. All right.
Okay, we're
There
good.
we go.
I think we're
Yes.
good.
We're good. Okay,
Yes.
now I'll have them reintroduce themselves because that sucks.
Yeah, sweet.
We have to redo
So screwed.
the introduction.
Redo it. Redo that shit.
Yeah. I think they heard me. We're doing BLUELOCK hot takes submitted by the BLUELOCK community through Hiryo's Discord, PO2 Discord, my community post, and just a bunch of other Discord channels. So I'm gonna let Raven start by introducing himself, and then Hiryo, you can go in, and then we'll get into the whole like hot takes, and we'll debate them and such. So yeah.
All right. All right, so RavinGeeks, I'm RavinGeeks. I got big off Blue Lock thanks to analyzing characters' personalities, specifically in the D&D area where I assign alignments to characters. And of course, since then, I've been getting great amounts of support. So anyone who's a fan of my channel, thank you so much for watching. And now I'm here, surprisingly, with these two lovely people.
Yes, sir. Raven, my goat. All right. I think a lot of people maybe know who I am. My name's Hiryo. I do BLUELOCK YouTube content. I got big off, I guess, Kunigami. And yeah, I overreact to chapters on stream a lot. So
That's baller.
There's gonna be there's one of my Kunigami takes in here that is gonna be very debated.
all right.
Very debated. So let's just get into the first one, which is Nagi is a better striker than Barou. What do you guys think about this?
Nagi is a better striker than Barou. All right, who wants to go first? Who wants to get the microphone? You know.
I don't actually want to go first on this because I want to hear other perspectives first.
I got you then. He's not. I love Nagi. He's like my top 3 favorite characters, but Barou is like almost the perfect striker character. Like he is the perfect for the center forward position as a player. Nagi is really good on offense, but he's also really good in the midfield, and his trapping weapon could most definitely be used on defense very well. Like we saw how Aryu saved Sai's shot at the buzzer beater for the first half of the U20 match. Nagi could easily do something like that because he's only 2 inches shorter than Aryu. So he's definitely more of an all-rounder as compared to Barou, but Barou is a way better striker, easily.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think Barou probably like striker-wise is the best in the BLUELOCK facility that we've seen, or like from BLUELOCK in general, like even beating out Rin in my opinion. I guess that's my hot take from this own hot take. Yeah, and currently right now, you know, Nagi's going through the downfalls. The stocks are going down for Nagi. It's crashing and stuff like that, right? But we did see a lot of potential in like episode Nagi. There's a new chapter for it as well. But I think in general, there's kind of no debate here. I think Barou is still a better striker because of his arsenal and stuff like that. Better than Nagi. Because Nagi is kind of, well, I guess you could say Barou's relying on other people. But Barou can kind of do everything himself. Nagi, he kind of needs Rayo and stuff like that in order to beat Isagi during Manshine. Yeah. I will say, though, Nagi by himself is still really good. There's no, like, you know, dragging him down because of that. But I still think Barou, like, striker capability-wise, is one of the most, like, is probably number 1 in BLUELOCK.
I should also add on to that because I'm a huge Nagi fan. It's literally my profile picture. Nagi's my favorite character. But Barou individually is so much better. It's in terms of a striker. You say the fact that he may rely on his teammates. No, he uses his teammates. Nagi has to rely on people like Rayo, Isagi in order to get these certain skill goals. But then you see Barou, who is individually carrying himself throughout the series, time after time. He's a strong striker, and through his Predator's Eye specifically, hardly ever misses any shots unless he was like directly intercepted, like we see with like Isagi intercepting him constantly. But Isagi just has really good spatial awareness. No other person can really pull that off as well as Isagi. So Barou overall just a really good striker in comparison to Nagi. Nagi's still really good, but of course he needs that setup in order to unleash his full potential.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're all unanimous on this. Barou is better than Nagi. This is a wild take. We're all
no, this ain't even a hot take. This is like a cold take. Like, yeah, the Barou's definitely better. Barou's definitely better.
Yeah. Agree.
Right, so next one, Raya will be eliminated in the NEL.
Ooh,
that is a hard dude. That is a hard one. That is a hard one.
I'm gonna let you start with this, Aryu, because this is Rayo is your profile picture.
Yeah, no, I'll take the reins on this one. I made a video like it kind of like semi blew up. It's called "Every Player Will Fail BLUELOCK." I said Rayo will survive, right? And then I also said in the video like he has a chance at being eliminated. Everyone in the comment section was flaming me for that. But I personally believe like he had a chance at being eliminated because, you know, he's on this downfall as well with Nagi. The stocks are going down as well. So I think in general, it really depends on performance and like what you believe will happen in the Barcha versus Manshine match, right? So let's take Reo, for example. Do you think he's still going to help out Nagi? Or is he going to try and do things on his own? Because Augie talked to him before saying, you know, you can't rely on Nagi. Nagi can't rely on you. So is he going to do things on his own? Is he going to score a goal which will give him a higher salary? Or do you think, what's it called? In order for Nagi to evolve, he needs to be separated from Reo. I personally don't think Reo will throw away his own chances at, you know, fame and glory for you know, football and everything like that. Because that's his whole, like, ego ambition. I don't think it's solely Nagi. Like, okay, that's arguable. But coming down to his own, like, first ego, first takes and everything like that, it was supposed to be, you know, win the World Cup. So I don't think he'll throw his chances away. I don't think he'll be eliminated.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Wait. My camera froze apparently.
Yeah, your camera froze for like the entirety of your thing, so you're just like for your entire explanation. But we could hear you. Boys. Like I could hear you completely fine.
Man, dude, sorry guys. The scuffness still doesn't stop. The scuffness still doesn't stop.
It don't stop.
It carries with you.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know.
Reo's definitely not getting eliminated. Like they wouldn't build him up, especially from third selection, getting his chameleon style, to locking down Shido in the U20 match, to being like utilized heavily on Manshine's team. Like his striker mode chameleon style, I think Reo has probably is overall one of the best characters in the series. I'm talking from every aspect. Reo is definitely like him. And they wouldn't waste a character who can copy others' abilities, especially not yet. Like, you have characters in other anime, specifically like Kisei from Kuroko's Basket. That's the level that Reo's eventually gonna get to. Like, he's eventually gonna get to that kind of level in terms of copying. And they ain't gonna, like, just toss him out.
You think a flow Reo is going to imitate, like, a perfect copy of people's abilities?
Right now, Reo's flow state is very symbiotic. The only way he can enter flow is if Nagi also enters flow. Right now, at least. I think it's still going to be like that at this point in the series. Like, I think later on, it's probably still going to be symbiotic. I honestly don't see him getting to the point where he's able to get into flow state on his own. But he's definitely going to be able to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I think Reo will honestly be fine to not waste his potential, to not waste the fact that he is going to be partnered alongside Nagi. They have this whole build up, and unfortunately, I feel Bachira is going to lose all their games. By the off chance that they may surprise us with like this elimination, because they did surprise us with the fact that Kunigami got eliminated, but he did return. So it was kind of anticlimactic in the grand scheme of things. But there are clearly stakes currently for Reo, and Reo's being backed into the corner for Reo and Nagi to figure out a plan to get out of. So it seems unlikely that they'll throw away that momentum just to make a shocking elimination, especially for a character like Reo, who's, you know, pretty much built up to be, well, as he is right now, the 99% copy of certain characters' abilities. That's just an insane character feat. You can't get rid of it so early.
Before we go into the next one, someone just donated a super chat for $2. Blue Cyclone said, "I better see Sendo get brought up at some point." He's brought up several times. Sendo was brought up in this like selection of hot takes a lot. So
I love Sendo.
Dude, Sendo might just be him.
Sendo might be him. I know for a fact there is a take here that about Sendo that I think is a little crazy. But all right, you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get at him.
Here we go. The next one. Kiyora should have been one of the top 6 during the third selection. Hell no. No.
Nah.
There's no way.
Yeah, okay, so I get the whole thing of, you know, they could develop a new character. That's what they did with Karasu, Atoya, and, you know, Yukimiya.
Yeah.
I could kind of see it, because, you know, that whole, like, top scorer in his own stratum and stuff like that. And it would make more sense for his development now. But I think Kiyora, he's just kind of nothing. Like he's just a nothing sandwich, So I don't really know.
Right now.
Yeah. Maybe the new
But-
chapter. Maybe the new chapter changes it because the new chapter released today, or like the leaks released today.
Please no spoilers, by the way, in the chat. Don't leave any spoilers for the leaks of anything that's happening in the latest chapter. Raven likes to be spoiler free. I've seen the leaks, but I'm not going to talk about it. And then Hiryo's doing his own stream on the chapter later. So can we just keep like the chat very quiet in terms of spoilers? We don't want to spoil it for anyone else who's trying to say, official only. But I agree. Kiyora hasn't done anything. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. We saw his stats. I think he had like 82. Like he's where Isagi was at Manshine. So his stats show that he's only about Manshine Isagi in terms of overall score. The only thing we've seen him do is kind of beat Nagi in a one-on-one in the second selection, which you can't really say anything because Nagi isn't the best kind of player in a one-on-one situation, especially if he doesn't have possession of the ball. And like he just beat Igigiri. That's it. That's the only real feats we have for Kiyora.
Yeah. Kiyora is also like a trap. Isn't he a trapper as well?
No, I don't think so. He's a break dancer, from what I remember. But
he's definitely a break dancer. I saw him in the latest episode Nagi chapter retrieve the ball in a trap motion. But I'm probably misreading it. But in any case, Kiyora shouldn't have been top 6. I don't think there's been enough on him at all. Like, especially since like the episode Nagi manga came out so much after the fact. So we haven't even got much build for him. The fact that he was chosen as the 5th player for Nagi's team, I find that very interesting to see why he was chosen over, of course, the other players on that team. So there are still things that we have yet to see with him, but he shouldn't have been in top 6. He's currently right now just lurking, and I can't wait to see what he does, but he hasn't done anything, so I can't comment much.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do anything. It's not that I don't think he's gonna do anything. I already don't think he's gonna survive the NEL. And really, what has Kiyora done after the second selection up until this point? Nothing.
Yeah, Kiyora is a nothing sandwich. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I really don't think he's done much. Atoya, he didn't really do much, right? Besides, he scored 2 goals in the 3rd selection, or like what? So obviously more goals than 2 that we've seen. But at the same time, like, they could have. I don't know. They're both useless. Yeah.
But Kiyora can break dance, so we kind of want that.
Someone named Satin just donated $10 saying Kiyora is my dad.
Oh yeah, that's Satan, my goat. That's my goat, Satan. That's like.
Well, thank you.
Kyora's a middle child.
Kyora's my dad.
He isn't. Yeah, he is the middle child, ain't he?
Yeah.
Or is he?
I guess so, because we got that whole dialogue about Kiyora, and then he did nothing that chapter, right? But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe things changed.
He got that dialogue. He ran a little bit. And then Ness got the ball.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think he's I don't think he's gonna really do anything. Honestly, I don't think he deserves to be top 6, especially because we don't know what he did. What was the top 6 based on? Was it just based on overall performance, or was it like goals scored? That's my question.
It was performance.
Performance?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like goes hand in hand, right? Like Shido and Rin, obviously they scored the most goals, so they were on top. Actually,
they scored against the World 5.
Yeah.
Goals,
Rin had 2.5 goals.
Bachira was 7.
Yeah, and Barou also scored goals. So I guess it was performance and plot, but that's kind of a given.
Plot, yeah.
I don't know. All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right, next one. All right, so this is one of my takes right here. Rin, Barou, and Chigiri are the best blue lock strikers in the NEL in that order, right? I stand firm with this. Chigiri is undervalued. He is one of the best players in blue lock. He is like being underutilized in the manga, but he's still carrying Manshine City. Like he is insane. His speed feats. He's also the first S player, S ranked player aside from Kunigami that we've seen from Blue Lock. Like Bachira was only an A when we first saw him. Chigiri was in his first game was an S rank on any aside from Kunigami, which is insane. Like it is insane already. And he scored in every single game that he's been in. He's participated in. And again, I'm not counting like Kaiser or no, I'm counting just blue lockers in general. So I'm just talking like people who were in the original 300 of the Blue Lock project. Barou, we already know how good he is, right? We already know how good Barou is striker. But Rin has always and still will continue to be the number one person in Blue Lock. Right? He's shown in every way possible that he is number one. In every single category, in every single selection match, he has been ranked number one. I believe they stated that he was the top scorer of his stratum. He was the first to complete the 100 goals challenge. He was ranked 1 after the second selection. He was chosen to play center forward for the Blue Lock 11, and now currently has the highest bid in the NEL. There's no way Rin isn't number one. So that's my thinking. And for honorable mention for fourth and fifth, I'm having Bachira at 4th, Nagi at 5th. That's my take for NEL strikers. So debate me on it.
All right, Raven, you want to go first, or?
Yeah, I'm about to say I would actually replace Barou with Bachira. We did talk about this era, but Bachira, in my opinion, individually, much better striker than Barou, just because I feel like Bachira is well able to carry himself much more than Barou, and that seems surprising. But people will base that off of physicality. Like Barou's a bigger player. He's got broad muscles and is just charged for. But people, the amount of times that he is just soloed people, there's clearly an underline the fact that Bachira can carry himself individually so much better than the majority of people. The downside is the fact that 2 out of the 3 times he didn't get the goal in the end, but that's because of unexpected interference. The time when he 1v3'd Chigiri, Barou, and Nagi, and then tried to score was blocked by Isagi. Then I don't know how many defenders he got past in the 20 match, but then he got past them all and the goalkeeper, and then Sendo saved the ball. I'm predicting outcomes, but Bachira soloed all those characters easily. And he's only growing as Blue Lock is going on, and Bachira's what 4th or 5th place. I forgot where he is in the bidding charts. I'm pretty sure he's 4th. Is he 4th?
No, Shido's 4th. I think Bachira is 6th, 5th or 6th. I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm not even entirely sure, but he's still playing Barca game, and Barou's done. So
yeah, Barou's done. He's one more. Bachira has one more game. Yeah, I still think Barou is still better than Bachira. Bachira is still solid, but Bachira definitely doesn't have the shooting that Barou does. Like Bachira is a player who's designed to just take the ball and get it upfield. That's who he is as a player. He doesn't really have the shooting to do it. We even saw from his newest shooting technique, B shot, that it wasn't very powerful. It was a chip. It was an aerial chip. He can't really produce that much power. Barou has a shooting-based vision and has his shooting style. He has his golden zone, just like Chigiri has his. And I think that beats out anything Bachira can do. Bachira is definitely better at like a midfielder and getting ball possession and getting it up the field. But Barou is definitely the better as a striker, a finisher, like Shido is.
Yeah,
like he's.
I won't doubt that, but of course, Bachira as an individual is so much more independently reliable in comparison to Barou, in which kind of trips opposing teams up in the grand scheme of things. You don't expect one guy to just show up and absolutely dominate the field. He doesn't have too much of a good shooting weapon as of currently, but I'm hoping that they will develop on that because, being able to get upfield on his own, getting past multiple defenders at a time, is really valuable, but he needs that execution. But I believe we're going to see that very soon. and I'm going to hedge my bets on Bachira until I'm wrong, and then I'll cry myself to sleep. But yeah, I also agree with Rin and Chigiri being there, very much, because both of them are very individually strong, and Chigiri especially with the 44 Panther Snipe, like that.
Yeah.
That weapon is insane.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that?
All right, yeah. Given my own take, I think it really depends what we're saying, right? I think striker wise though, if this is the question, right? Like the best blue lock strikers, I think like best players, Rin is above Barou, right? But I think like best strikers, I think Barou's above Rin. And then like controversial take, I'd either put like Isagi or maybe even Shido in that case, right? If we're talking about like strikers individually. Because I feel like with a striker, you know, they just got to have this aura, you know, they're kind of like aura maxing. They need to be like Thanos walking, you know? It's like, this guy is a threat. I don't know. Some analogy like that, right? But why I put Barou at number 1 is like, when you see him, you're like, okay, we need to like stack this guy and treat him like, you know, he's God. So when they were playing against Ubers, they put like every single person against Barou. Right, you got Isagi, Kaiser, Noah, like those are the people that could read him, right?
Yeah.
And he still managed to score and shit like that. So I think striker capability wise, like specifically for striker, you know, they're supposed to be scoring. They're supposed to have, you know, finish off the goals and everything like that. I would put Barou at number 1, Rin at number 2, because, you know, Rin is just Rin. And also I'm a Rin glazer, so like me putting him at 2 is not biased. But and then Isagi at number 3. Isagi at number 3, he's kind of proving himself. You know, there's that whole debate of Isagi's a midfielder. But bro's been scoring, like, bro has an almost equal amount of goals as not Rin. As Kaiser, right? And Kaiser, you know, he's messing it up. Like, I don't know if we're able to like curse on your stream or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, Kaiser's fucking him up. So he's like jumping around, playing like all that shit. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, Isagi could have scored those goals. And what comes down at the end of the day is the goals you're scoring, right?
Yeah.
So I think in that case, Isagi is like really high up there. But I guess you could also say that for like Bachira and Chigiri. I still think like Isagi. I think Isagi top 3 still. So I would say Barou, Rin, and then like Rin greater than or equal to Isagi.
I would say like Isagi is really good at executing those goals.
Yeah.
You see him developing his weapons on the fly, and that's just, of course, like a reference back to his adaptability to really dire situations. So yeah, he's definitely got that. He's definitely got that make believe producing bullshit up his sleeve. He will remix his moves in order to score on like the most crucial points, and that's very valuable as a striker.
Yeah.
We got $10 from Angel, who said Barou over Rin as a pure striker. That I can agree. The one point I do want to make is that each of these characters, as well as they are a striker, they can consistently handle the ball. Chigiri's dribbling is almost as good as Bachira's dribbling is. According to like the stat sheet, he's I think 3 or 4 points just below Bachira. Rin, we saw him use occlusion break to completely go through Bastard Merchant on his own. And then Barou, we've seen him do something very similar with his chop dribbles. We've seen him be able to do something very similar. So in terms of like, they're amazing goal scorers, but they also can do stuff to get them to a position where they can score a goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like my thought process. They not only have the ability to finish off those plays, but they can build them on their own. Bachira, he can build up the plays, but he really doesn't have the ability to finish them in terms of like shooting ability. He's very like Lavinho in the sense of he can just dribble it into the net, but he doesn't really have the shooting power to do anything up to the point where he needs to shoot. You know what I mean?
I'll stand by my boy until, you know, I get absolutely backhanded. I believe in him. He's gonna get something done.
Oh yeah. All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I bet. So, Isagi is the best in the Egoist 4. Now, this hot take, I didn't make it, but this is very special to me because I recently went to Otaku Fest and I met the voice actors for Nagi, Isagi, and Chigiri, and Ego and Kira, and I asked them this question. I said, who do you think is the best at the Egoist 4? Then the voice actor for Isagi himself said that Isagi was the worst out of the Egoist 4. So I really want to know your guys' thoughts on this question, because I've also made a video on this myself, and I know who I personally think is the worst.
Yeah, I
I
think
wanna go with you guys first.
bro's an anime only, because, like, what? You know, like,
He's
that's
not,
a big...
apparently. He's not. He's going off of manga.
Yeah,
too.
he did read the manga. I would say like it makes sense overall, kinda. I feel like the race for the top does contend with Bachira and Chigiri, in my opinion. But I believe Isagi is not. I believe Isagi is proving himself to be better than Kunigami at the moment. So he's not the worst.
Yeah.
That's
do you
my
think?
take.
What do you think, Kiryu?
Oh, okay, all right. My take, Kunigami, we could just forget about Kunigami, right? We could just forget about Kunigami, yeah. Bachira's good, right? You know, he's obviously it's FC Bachira, you know? He's kind of carrying his team and everything like that. Obviously, shouldn't be underestimated. Chigiri, you know, fast legs, he scores, all that stuff like that. But then you have Isagi, who's kind of like the game changer for, like, all his games and stuff like that. In my opinion, I don't think this is like you know, obviously everyone's doing their opinions and stuff. It's like a hot take. I don't even think this is a hot take. I swear this is just facts. I swear Isagi is still the best out of the Egoist 4 when it comes to, you know, game reading, being able to use other players. It doesn't really matter if Isagi can't dribble, can't run at super speed like he's the Flash or something like that, right? Or be useless like Kunigami. The thing is, Isagi is able to use other players so well, like Corona, like Hiyori, and be able to, you know, manipulate them, stuff like that. Use his psychology major, I guess. Yeah, Isagi would definitely be a psychology major. But anyways, he would definitely be able to
Like
just
Kaiser
use...
is?
Yeah,
Kaiser is?
exactly. You know? So, like, either by using Corona for those fast turns, fast passes, and stuff like that, he doesn't necessarily need to use, like, or he doesn't necessarily need those weapons. And we've seen him score, like, without it and stuff like that. So I think, in general, Isagi is still, like, the best. I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah. I got you.
I'd be saying like the utilization definitely carries Isagi, but I would say Chigiri's top overall. These are based on overall stats. This is not based on just striker. I'd say Chigiri's top just because the man can very much carry himself. And Isagi is really good at using other people as well, so he goes second in my opinion. Bachira third, Kunigami fourth. That's my list.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first made this was at the beginning of the year. Like my very first video of the year was ranking the Egoist 4. And I said from worst to best, it was Kunigami, Isagi, Bachira, and then Chigiri at top. Now, at this point, Kunigami is still at the bottom for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of where I would place Isagi, it's very hard for me to place him anywhere else because I'm heavily biased for Chigiri and Bachira.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say he's probably equal to or better than Bachira in terms of overall when ranking the Egoist 4, but I still think Chigiri's on top. I think, even though Isagi does have better vision, I think if you were to put both characters side by side, and you said pick one to have on your team, the majority of people would pick Chigiri over Isagi. I still think... I'm not the biggest fan of Isagi, but I can admit when he's got the skills. But I'd still probably say Kunigami's the worst.
We got the biggest balance of people because I feel like we have an Isagi lover, Isagi hater, and Isagi like in the middle kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Isagi exists.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on that Kunigami is useless. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Kunigami is 4. Kunigami is number 4.
Unfortunately, that's just the treatment. He's the catalyst for players on his team to get better. He's not really as impactful as Isagi or Chigiri or Bachira. That's just a fact.
He's just like the bar that they have to like reach or surpass.
Like Kunigami was at top, starting the NEL, but then quickly surpassed by Chigiri, and then efficiently like surpassed by Isagi and Bachira as the games have gone on. And Kunigami's now that benchmark in which they've surpassed because Kunigami's only now like marking Shido.
Yeah.
He's left to man mark.
Yeah.
We still have so Blue Cyclone did it again. He said Isagi, Bachira, Chigiri, and Kunigami in terms of ranking. Do you think Kunigami would perform better as a defensive midfielder like Yoichi, or as a forward or mid or offensive midfielder like Isagi or Kaiser has been? What do you think you'd play better as in terms of if you were to play on the U20 team? Do you think he'd be played more on the offensive side or more on the defensive side? Because we've seen how good he is with marking Shido, but also scoring goals.
My opinion on that actually comes in my latest video that's releasing later today. So I'm not going to say anything.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. I'll go ahead and take the reins on this. Kunigami, I don't know. Like, I swear Kunigami needs to go on a journey for enlightenment. Go find the Dragon Ball and wish for some development. Because I think no matter what, like, you know, you can have other players that are better than him in defensive midfielder. You have Raichi, you have Reo, you have all these other players, right?
Yeah.
That can do what Kunigami does, if not better, and have more arsenals, right? Because like he's trained for like kicking ambidextrously and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then if you put him in the midfield, you have Kiyora, you have Reo, you have all the other, you have Karasu and stuff like that. And then you put him as striker, you know, like he's the last to get picked for kickball. You have Barou, you have Rin, you have all these other players, right? So Kunigami right now, I swear to God, he needs some OP power up, you know, he needs that like, you know, from Black Clover, just like, you know, coming out of nowhere, overpowered, you know? Because going into the NEL, you know, you're hyped up at Kunigami. He's walking at the wild card. When I first read that, I was like, yo, Kunigami, he's about to be him, you know? Back in the first selection, second selection, as much as I like the nice guy persona and stuff like that, bro kind of did nothing, you know? He kind of like, you know, okay, well, bro didn't do nothing, but he just scored a little bit, right? And that's obviously why he lost to Shido and stuff like that. And then you go to the NEL, and I'm like, okay, Kunigami's going to be him. And then he loses to Bachira immediately. He botches up a shot. He gets both the goals because of an assist from Isagi. So it's kind of like, you know, that's obviously he's a goal poacher. So it makes sense that like he made that goal for at least a Manshine match. But then like Kunigami, yeah, I don't know. I think he's pretty useless. Like at this point in time, I wouldn't even put him like anywhere. You know, I just bench the boy. He kind of needs a power up in my opinion.
Okay, I got you. So we can agree Kunigami's the worst.
Yeah,
we can all pretty much agree Kunigami's the worst.
Sorry for Kunigami fans. We've slated the man.
No, like I'm kind of a Kunigami glazer too. Like I want to see him and stuff like that. He blew up my channel, but like, man, bro's kind of just like bro kind of sucks right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Here we go. Here's another one of my takes. Right off the Kunigami hate, I believe that Kunigami could lock down Barou. I made a whole video on this because I had a debate on another stream about this. Kunigami could absolutely lock down Barou. Now, I'm going to specify the situation in which I say this, right? Because I needed some context for the video because I didn't really give the context. So we were debating two different situations. The situation I'm saying is that if Barou does not have the ball, in the sense that he's waiting on someone to pass to him, kind of like Shido is right now, Kunigami could absolutely lock down Barou. Because Barou does not have the speed or the physique that Kunigami does. Kunigami has a way better physique and is faster than Barou is. So there's no way Barou is getting away from him, right? Now, in the situation where Kunigami's playing defensive midfielder and Barou has the ball and he's pushing upfield, the argument people like to make is that because Barou was able to get past Kunigami in the second selection, there's no way he wouldn't be able to do it now, especially with Barou's training. But they failed to recognize that the only reason that Barou was able to get past Kunigami is because Kunigami didn't know that Barou could do chop dribbles. That was the whole thing, that he didn't know he knew how to do chop dribbling. But now he knows that. So even if he does get beat on a chop dribble, he can still catch up to Barou before he makes any kind of substantial ground, right? And the whole thing with Kunigami is that the wild card improved his physique to be close to Noah in terms of on paper. And we saw from one of the latest chapters that Kunigami's physique is nearing Noah's physique. So the logic with that, are you going to argue that someone with relative physique to Noah could not lock down Barou? That's the debate I make. So, take it away.
Oh,
what do you think?
Can I take this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I agree. I believe he can lock down Barou, especially now that we've seen him lock down Shido. And Shido's like one of his abilities. I've done a little bit of research. One of his abilities is his physicality. He's got his dominant physicality. The fact that he is a really strong player with his kind of body type. He is probably one of the strongest. But we take a look at Kunigami constantly man marking a character like Shido, who's actually much more agile, and I'd honestly say Shido's more aggressive of a shooter than Barou is. Because he's willing to Baru's not willing to take as big of risks as Shido will do just to have the thrill of scoring that goal. So in terms of man marking, we saw how well Kunigami could actually man mark in the second selection against Barou, and it was because of all the information that he had on Barou that he was able to do that so well. And unfortunately, we didn't really get to see that during the Ubers game, the Bastard versus Ubers game. We didn't get to see much interaction between the two. But of course, Kunigami, physically, in terms of his stats, is actually just higher than Barou is currently. And the reason why Barou is doing so well is because the Ubers formation is like pushing Barou to the point of like success. It's all formed around him. So if given the task of man marking, Kunigami is probably the best option on Bastard and probably the best option within BLUELOCK in general to shut Barou down.
Yeah. No, I think this is a pretty good take. Like, I honestly agree with it as well. Because if we think about Kunigami, honestly, he's kind of underrated as like an all-rounder. Because, he has defensive feats. He has his offensive feats. Midfielder, But, like, he has both of those, right? And that's kind of what you can do. But that's the thing about Kunigami, right? Like, he has these defensive feats. He has these striker feats. He's kind of mid in both. So that's why, in general, like, in a 1v1, it kind of comes down to being an all-rounder, right? Like, Chigiri using his speed, and then he also could shoot, right? Bachira having his dribbling. Rin is just destroyer mode, whatever the hell Rin has up his pocket. Yep. So I think, like, in this case, Kunigami with his all-rounder feats and stuff like that, because we haven't seen Barou do any, like, too many defensive feats, right? Well, he's done, like, the king block, right? So I think, in general, Kunigami is kind of underrated as an all-rounder. But I do agree, because when it comes to the main point, I do agree. Because, when it comes to being an all-rounder, he has his physique. He has, his speed. He has his pretty shitty 1v1 win rate, but it still works, Yeah. So I think in general, I think I agree. I think Kunigami could lock down Barou. I think we all agree on this.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. At least that wasn't the only crazy one.
The chat may think of us as crazy. I can't see chat, but
yeah. There were a couple donations I want to acknowledge because I'm very grateful to have any. You guys don't have to donate. I'm very grateful for anyways. So, Mr. SND1 says, Hiryo, stop mogging the camera.
Dude, that's just me, bro. That's just me. I'm not trying to mog the camera. Anyways, yeah, that's my go, Mr. SND.
And then Cyclone says, this is back to the previous take, how I see Bachira over Chigiri is, I'm not surprised that Barcha is being carried by Bachira. I'm a little surprised that Manshine is carried by Chigiri. So, I'm not surprised, but, like, Nagi's gonna come back and make some kind of big.
Chigiri's still, like, I believe I would be more surprised if Rhea was carrying.
Oh yeah, I'd be surprised by that because like, he's good, but he ain't like
he ain't really striker good. He's all rounder good. He's very much a support cast. But I believe Chigiri and Nagi is who I expect to carry Manshine City.
Yeah.
Right.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So. Current Kaiser over current Isagi. Who wants to take this one?
Current Kaiser over current Isagi. I feel like no matter what, like, everyone's gonna have their own different opinions. Like, this is kind of the one where everyone will have their pitchforks and torches out. Like, whatever opinion you get, right? That is one of the hardest, like, debates in my opinion.
What? This is a hard one?
In my opinion, I think this is a pretty hard one. Cause
absolutely not.
No. You gotta hear me out here. Maybe
Kaiser
go on
is
right
so
here.
much better.
Wait, who are you saying? Kaiser?
Kaiser, yeah.
Nah, bro. Wait. I was actually gonna say Isagi, like, greater than equal to Kaiser. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Here's the thing, right? Isagi. All right, we're gonna wait for the NEL to end, and then Isagi's gonna take the number 1. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
Hell
But we're doing it right here, right? So it really comes down as an all-round player what you do, right? Like your impact on the game. Kaiser and Isagi both have like magnificent impact on the game. I'm not like saying Isagi is better is not saying that Kaiser is bad. It's just saying that Isagi is just supreme, kind of, you know? And when it comes to this, I'm not trying to be Isagi bias. I'm definitely a Rin bias when it comes to like all this stuff, right? But when it comes to this, it really comes down to what your impact is on the game, right? Like if you can score goals, what you can do, right? On the what you can do on the field. So when it comes down to this, we see Isagi defending. We also see Kaiser defending. We see Isagi scoring goals. We also see Kaiser scoring goals. We see Isagi moving upfield with, you know, Corona, Hiyori, Kunigami, Raichi, and all that stuff. We also see Kaiser moving upfield with Ness, Birkenstock, the rest of the trash can friends. So the whole thing is, it matters what you do at the end of the day. Since Isagi can both score, like Isagi can score, it doesn't matter if Kaiser can do this flashy bicycle kick. Like, yeah, that's cool. Isagi obviously can't do that. But it really matters, like, if you could score at the end of the day, right? So Kaiser scored 1 in the Ubers. Isagi scored 2. You know? Obviously, Kaiser scored way more in Manshine and Barcha and stuff like that. But it really comes down to the impact you have on the game. So I think impact-wise, both Kaiser and Isagi are kind of, like, equal in terms of that, right? And then right now, you have, like, Isagi on his plot armor shit, just being super overpowered, you know, telling Kaiser, you're a bitch and shit like that. So like, I think it's all
you're
like
a
that.
bitch.
Yeah. So I think like current Isagi right now, because he is overpowered, he has, you know, this is his peak form right now. I think he's better than Kaiser. And then, you know, it'll go through that whole development where in the U20 World Cup arc, Kaiser becomes like overpowered. Solo carry, beats out Japan and BLUELOCK and Isagi. So I think like current Isagi right now, because of what he's done and his capabilities, they're really equal to Kaiser. And then it really comes down to the current game, right? PXG. And you could say that Kaiser is being outperformed by Isagi. He's not getting marked by Don Lorenzo the whole game. Isagi's still popping off, scoring goals and stuff. So yeah, I currently think current Isagi over current Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
You agree?
I don't. But
Okay.
Yeah, no. Everyone has their opinion. Like you could say no. I don't. It don't matter.
No,
We got 3 super
Yeah,
chats.
it's good to have this debate and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
read out the super chat.
It's the BLUELOCK hot take.
We got 3 super chats. OP says Kaiser clears Isagi. Saturn returns by saying Isagi clears Kaiser.
Oh.
And then Cyclone sends one more saying physically Kaiser, mentally Isagi, overall right now Isagi.
Well, but mentally, of course, Isagi, bro. Kaiser had a breakdown.
Everyone is siding. Everyone's siding with you, Hario, right now. But I'm gonna switch it up right here for you. All right.
Yeah.
The whole point of the NEL, at least from the Isagi and Kaiser rivalry, is that it's switching. It's getting turned a full 180 because that's exactly what's happening between Barcha and PXG. The roles are just switched now. The logic of Isagi being over Kaiser is because when you look at it, Isagi has better partners than Kaiser does. Yes, Kaiser has Ness, and he is an S tier, he's an S ranked, right? But you have Corona, you have Kunigami, you have Raichi, you have, I'll include Gagamaru, and you have, who else did I forget? Kiyora, Corona, Hiyori, Raichi, Kunigami, Gagamaru, and then Yukimiya I'll say is part because he seems to be working with Isagi now, right?
Mm.
Who does Kaiser have that is on their level? Nobody. Only Ness. The only person he has is Ness because every other player has been switched off. Kaiser has been able to perform as well, if not better than Isagi, with these limited teammates. He had Grim up until this match, but it was just him. It was just Kaiser, Grim, and Ness versus everyone else in BLUELOCK who was siding with Isagi, right? Now, just because Kaiser is going through some kind of like withdrawal right now, does not mean it excludes every other feat that Kaiser has prior. Kaiser is the only character we've seen to have a dual kind of vision. You could say Charles, but we don't know if that dartboard kind of vision is a unique style to Metavision or if it's just some other kind of vision. But Kaiser is the only character we've seen that I can think of who has a double vision utility. He also has the fastest shot in the world. He also had Isagi himself literally said at Manshine that Kaiser is the embodiment of everything Isagi wants to and better because of his shooting. That doesn't disregard everything that Kaiser's done up to this point. Isagi, I will say, has progressed very highly. But Rin, for example, is still above him. But I wouldn't even say that Rin is on Kaiser's level in terms of overall performance. Kaiser's going through some kind of withdrawal right now, but because he's in the same situation that Isagi was at Barça, right? Isagi had nobody. All he had was Kunigami, and Isagi himself said he couldn't do anything, which is why he had to send the ball to Kunigami in order to make a difference on the pitch. That's kind of the same situation that Kaiser's in right now. We saw a literal mirror a couple chapters ago where Isagi had to intercept, where Kaiser had to intercept a pass in order to get possession. Does that not sound exactly like what Isagi did to Ness in order to have any kind of role in the match? It's identical. The roles are just being reversed, but that doesn't exclude everything that Kaiser's done up to this point. We also saw another character go through some kind of withdrawal, Barou, and what happened to him? He came back way better. This is exactly what's going to happen to Kaiser, and it doesn't exclude everything that's happened, nor everything that is going to continue to happen. Isagi is only being able to match or surpass Kaiser because Kaiser only has one person. Would you argue that Isagi is on Kaiser's level during Manshine when he had Corona? No, because he only has the one partner.
Yeah. No, that 100% makes sense. I think like you're right about like, you know, we shouldn't disregard any previous feats and stuff like that. I'm saying in general, not even disregarding other feats, I still think current Isagi and stuff is better than current Kaiser. Which, you know, maybe that's a wild take. That's why I said this whole debate is going to have, you know, the pitchforks and torches out, right? And stuff like that. I think in general, right? Isagi, he has this whole, I think it was Ubers. Was it Ubers? Yeah. During the end of Ubers, when we got Hiyori Lock, it was the whole thing of Isagi brings people close to him, brings out their best performances, which then brings out Isagi's best performance. So it's the fact that Kaiser, you know, he's, you know, obviously the trash can friends like Birkenstock and Mensa and like, you know, who's the other guy? Eric Gresner. Like, who is that? You know, I do agree he does have like, obviously, way worse hand. Like, you know, he has the worst hands to deal with. Isagi got the royal flush, right? But Kaiser has like way more dog shit hand. I do agree with that. I think we can't really blame Isagi or the plot. It's more because it's Isagi's actions, right? So it all comes down to like accountability, right? Because Kaiser didn't do X and Y, which is what Isagi did. He did X and Y, which is, what is it called? Like, quote unquote, manipulating his teammates or bringing out their best performances, like we saw with Yuki Miya, like we also saw with Corona, like we saw with Hiyori, right? I think because of that, he's able to bring people towards him. And that's that whole Hiyori Lock thing. Like, people gravitate towards Isagi because he brings out their best performances. All that yap, right? And because of that, Isagi is able to have those assets available to him because he knows that he doesn't have Kaiser Impact. He doesn't have all this other stuff, right? Kaiser, because he's more egotistical, because he knows he has Kaiser Impact, because he believes he's the best and stuff like that, that he does the impossible. He beat like, what, 10 police officers, stuff like that, right? I would have a high ego too. Kaiser is probably 6 foot. He probably has a high ego. So that whole thing of like, because he's egotistical, he doesn't necessarily want to like manipulate or bring out other people's best performances because he relies a lot on his. So I think that's just that take, right? So the whole point was Isagi has other people around him, Kaiser doesn't. I think it's because of Isagi's actions and also Kaiser's actions that, you know, they both have it. So like their accountability at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I believe.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so I believe, of course, overall, Isagi is a more likable character in the eyes of like his, in the eyes of the Blue Lockers, because they have like come up with him and trained with him, and of course been in matches with him. They sort of know his personality and know how he's going to influence the field. It's why people would majority favor Isagi over Kaiser, because Kaiser's just proven to be someone who wants to crush individuals by being successful himself. and of course, the way that he uses Ness, you can see the fact that he doesn't treat Ness in the greatest limelight. It's like you can see like their relationship is fucking terrible. But Kaiser individually, and I say this with like the biggest grain of salt. Individually, I believe he's only been surpassed once by Isagi, and that was when Isagi released his fucking double pistol shoot to the goal. That moment was the only win I believe Isagi's ever gotten in versus Kaiser in one-on-one. Because if you look back to the Ubers, Isagi of course had fucking Hiyori, and of course before that for his first goal. He was against Ness. It wasn't directly against Kaiser because Kaiser was being man-marked by Don Lorenzo. And in terms of stat-wise, Kaiser's still better than Isagi. I see, like, from here, he's got a 97 stat total, and his and of course, what's bad about him in comparison to his other stats is his defense and passing. That's whatever. And of course, Isagi's passing is way better, but you have to look at it from this perspective. Individually, like in terms of stats and in terms of feats, I believe Kaiser will get the job done a majority of the time if he's provided that support, but he's just so fucking selfish as a person, not willing to let people's full potentials grow outside of that. It comes down to the type of person that both Isagi and Kaiser is. Isagi doesn't have as much of a ceiling thanks to the kind of person he is, but Kaiser does, and he's seeing the results of that currently. So that's my take.
Yeah, do you want to go Arrow or?
I'm gonna read these super chats real quick, just because people keep donating like hotcakes. I'm so grateful. I'm very shocked this happened. I've only seen this happen because I do editing for work, and they get a bunch of super chats. And I'm like, I've never been on this side of the like this receiving end of it.
Yo, but insane.
Yeah. So let me scroll up because there's a lot of people who don't. They said, all right. So License said yes, a hot take, but Kaiser over Isagi just because Don Lorenzo was locking down Kaiser during Uber's game, so he couldn't explode. OP responds by saying number for number Kaiser is better, but that's Kaiser by himself. Kaiser plus Ness is worse than Isagi plus Hiyori plus Kuni plus Corona. That isn't Kaiser's fault. And then License says, how many police officers has Isagi fought? None.
Sorry, you're shut down. You're shut down for that one.
Yeah. You're right.
I actually do look back to when Kaiser was one-on-oneing Chris Prince. I like to look back on that sometimes and think Kaiser of course is worse than Chris Prince because Chris Prince is a rival with Noel Noah and Mark Snuffy, but I look to that and think, yeah, Kaiser really carried himself in that situation when Chris Prince is so much better in terms of stats because, you know, Chris Prince is like, 100? He's one of the other 100 characters in terms of stat total. And the fact that Kaiser was able to do so well against someone like that individually, I don't think Isagi would be able to like get the chance to do that. He'd just be overwhelmed. So yeah, that's what I think back to when even though that was like back in Manshine City match, I still believe Isagi wouldn't be able to handle that pressure.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think stats-wise, you guys are right about, you know, Kaiser being better than Isagi. I think that's no debate, right? Like, Kaiser, like you said, just won against Chris Prince, the guy who, you know, might be competing for the world's strongest man. He got them six-pack abs. But the whole point is, like, or like my point, rather than stats and like focusing on that, I think it really comes down to impact on the game. It really depends what you're debating, right? If we're debating like solely stats, Kaiser obviously sweeps the floor with Isagi, besides maybe IQ, right? And maybe passes as well. But when it comes to like impact on the game, I think they're like really equal. And then still currently, I still think Isagi is better than Kaiser because the whole downfall and stuff. But I do agree with your guys' takes about saying, you know, Kaiser's stats definitely better than Isagi. We shouldn't, you know, disregard what Kaiser has done with Kaiser Impact and everything like that. And in a straight up 1v1, and like striker-wise, you'd probably still want to choose Kaiser.
Yeah, I believe team feats goes to Isagi because he is drawing out that potential. If Isagi is given those teammates, he will obliterate Kaiser as he's currently doing. But Kaiser individually, like one-on-one situation stats wise, that's where Kaiser will take the wins.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. In terms of just overall, like if we're comparing solely them, Kaiser has better vision. Kaiser has better shooting. Kaiser has better mobility. Like he can move around easier, better off the ball movements, better ball sense. You can argue whether them having equal game IQ. But I just
That
think
also
the
just
only thing
comes down
Isagi
to
has over him.
experience.
Yeah, experience, and then the only thing Isagi really has over him, over Kaiser, is faster development and better teammates, which you could blame on the Blue Lock project itself, helping these teammates to evolve to where they can utilize their stuff, but then also like Isagi drawing out their potential. But either way, I still say Kaiser. I don't think Isagi's anywhere near New Gen 11 yet. I think Rin's closer, and I think Isagi's still below Rin. So my thought is Kaiser. I say current Kaiser.
Yeah, we could all agree to disagree. You know, that's why I said this take is gonna be, you know, this take is gonna be a hot one for sure.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see. Of course, an actual face-off between the two. That feels like it's gonna come during this match, right? Like an actual one-on-one with Isagi and Kaiser competing for the last goal, instead of being interrupted by by a shit ton of people. Because that's going to be the climax, or it could lead to Kaiser finally being like, you know what, I'll work with you, homeschool bread slice.
Yeah, no, it really depends with, you know, Kaneshiro's cooking up. If he wants to go, you know, the whole Isagi's #1 development, or if he wants to do Kaiser is equal to Isagi development, or if he wants to do Kaiser is better going into the World Cup. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Exciting either way.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I say Kaiser. Raven, what do you say?
Oh, I was just saying exciting either way. Don't worry.
No, but like out of the
for the hot take, like
I'd say Kaiser because he's like 2-1 in terms of like stat total, and of course individually 1-on-1, but Isagi with the team point.
Yeah, and then Haruo, what do you say?
Yeah, I still think Isagi over.
Okay, so 2-1. All right, you guys ready for the next one, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna do like one or two more, and then what's it called? I'm gonna head over, do the chapter review and stuff. We should
save this for us three to do consistently. Maybe once a month we go through some more hot takes. Gives our community more time to build up more hot takes as the
manga chapter. Yeah.
Gives people time to build up stuff, and it keeps everything fresh.
By the time next month hits, we'll have the episode Nagi movie.
Ooh, we will. We'll have to give our thoughts on that. I'm gonna see it the day of. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, no, me too, bro. Guys, I'm gonna rent out the movie theater. I'll fly you guys out. Let's go react to it in person, guys.
You know what?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll book my plane ticket right now. No, I got invited by Isagi's voice actor to go with the voice actors, but I'm like, I have no money right now.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Like we were gonna
you're saying dub, right?
You're saying
dub,
yeah,
right?
Isagi's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting super chats right now. What do you mean you don't got money?
No, like it's in Dallas, Texas. I'm in Florida.
Oh shit!
But in Dallas, they were like, "Yo, come out. We're renting out the movie theater." I'm like, "I would. I'm broke as fuck, but if I can make it happen, I will." I didn't get to make it happen, but it's the fact that I would have had the opportunity to do that is just still incredible. But I'm going to see it day of. I'm seeing the day of it comes out. I'm watching in sub and dub. I'll watch it both.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Arrow's gonna voice Akira and Doji if he ever gets a line, something like that.
Bro, I'll voice
No,
you're one of the background. Can I be like the child that
you're voicing Ness.
Like Isagi's number one fan?
Dude, no, that'd be hype as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. Like making an appearance in the actual dub of the anime or something like that. Like comes full circle.
Let me just do like my lowest voice, like. Yo, are you Isagi?
No, Arrow, you are going
yeah, you need that full studio mic and shit like that.
You're gonna be Ness, all right? I'm predicting it now.
I'd rather not have a role.
Come on, you'd be glazing over Kaiser.
Ness is underrated. He's good as fuck.
He's really good, but it's just because he's in Kaiser's shadow all the time.
My boss just super chatted. My boss just super chatted $50.
Dude, Arrow's the go
for the chat. So, yeah. Yo, can I voice Amori's Messi? Can I voice Nishioka?
Oh, yeah.
If you could voice one character, who would it be?
Oh. All right, I'll take the reins first, I guess. Everyone in my... Okay, obviously, Nanase has a perfect voice actor. You know, he already has one confirmed. But everyone in my chat...
He's one in dub?
I don't know. But,
I don't think they have dub actors yet.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware.
I know they have sub actors for sure. But everyone in my chat says I look like Nanase. There's an edited picture of me with the Nanase headband, and I'm not even gonna lie, it actually kind of looks accurate. But it's just because I'm the middle part and I'm Asian, you know. So it's like, you know. But I guess that would be kind of cool because just all that stuff. But yeah, no, I think I would like 100% suck at voice acting. The people that have it, the people that do it, 100% talented. I don't think I could ever do it.
I believe I feel as if though my British heritage would lean me towards Chris Prince of character.
No, that would be hype. That would be hype. I could see you doing it.
Because of course the fact he's from England, of course. But if I was to pick someone a bit more realistic, like not as big of a role, maybe Agi. I'd like to.
Yeah,
like
I think
to
you could
be
fit. You could fit Agi 100%.
I think if you just try to like, I feel like Agi would have still have the inflection, but I feel like his voice would just be slightly deeper. So if you like try and lower your
if I project my voice like this, it may be.
Dude, that's Agi right there. That's Agi right there.
Yo, scream at Nagi for me. Just start ripping on Nagi real quick. Start shit talking.
Nagi, what the fuck are you doing? Be your own person, you fucker.
Who do you think is gonna voice? I've had a debate about this. Who do you think is gonna voice Hiyori? Because I've made the argument. I think the person who voices for Kuroko from Kuroko's Basket should voice Hiyori.
Oh
it's
my
the same,
god,
like,
no, you're so right.
Same soft-spokenness. Not the fact that they have the same color hair, but just the very soft-spokenness and just tone. And then they can bring out very like high emotion as well.
Yeah,
that Hiyori's recently doing.
I personally haven't watched the dub. I've seen obviously clips of it and everything like that. And Atoya's voice actor is in my Discord. But I personally haven't watched the dub. I've only watched the sub.
Yo, Atoya's voice actor's in your Discord?
Yeah. He's kind of the GOAT. But like, I haven't watched the dub. I've watched BLUELOCK 3 times. And I've only watched it in sub. Like, I think that just comes down to preference. I'd rather prefer sub than dub. But I've seen clips of it. 100%. I still think the dub is really good. So I don't know. I don't have a.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave a little teaser for another stream I have coming up. I don't know when, but I've been in talks. I'm trying to get in talks too with the English dub for Isagi's voice actor, who I met at the convention. I'm gonna try and get him. I've mentioned it. He's wanted to get on one of these live events. So if I can get him on one of these lives, I'll hit both of you guys up. We'll all do the 4-person live with.
That'd be hype, bro. Isagi's voice actor, bro.
Isagi, you could beat Kaiser, yeah.
We'll throw him up on one of these debate things. We'll have him debate. But yeah, if it were me, I'd want to voice like. Gonna sound weird. I really would want to voice Neru on the U20 team.
Oh yeah.
I would really want to voice Neru. Neru is so underrated. He's so happy all the time.
Yeah.
Sendo. Sendo's so funnily stupid.
To be fair, Sendo would be actually more fitting for you.
I would love to do Sendo, personally.
I can imagine the hype of course, like when we get to that point in the anime where Sendo scored his goal against Manshine City.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You ever notice that Isagi the celebration that Isagi and Nagi did when they won the U20 match was the same celebration that IQ and Sendo did when they won the match. When they won the Manchester City match, I thought it was pretty cool.
Small details like that really make me happy.
Yeah. All right, we gotta get to the next take because we've been like 10 minutes of just. Okay. Bachira is a better player than Chigiri. So I'm assuming when they said player, they mean overall as like a player themselves.
Does someone want to go for debate first? I feel like I have to cook up, like, in my brains. I gotta get the
go for it.
Moving.
Chigiri's my favorite character. I'm a Chigiri meat rider. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather that fanboy. He's definitely like.
I read that fanboy.
my bro is definitely. He's already top 3 in my opinion of players. I've made this argument, and I think Bachira is just a little worse than him, just because Chigiri has the dribbling. It might be a little worse than Bachira, but he can still make it up the field. He's faster. In terms of the second selection, Chigiri was the main reason that Isagi could even keep up with Rin. Like, Chigiri himself has the passing, considering his 44 Panther Snipe is just a pass. Like, Chris Prince said it himself, make a pass towards the top corner of the net. Like, he's good at centering. He can dribble. He's fast as hell. He can shoot really well. Like, he is probably the best. I'd say he's probably one of the best overall players. And Bachira is just barely underneath him because he doesn't have the shooting. Aside from that, Bachira's flow state's better, but Chigiri, I think, is overall better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think this is just super hard in my opinion because I kind of put Chigiri and Bachira as super equal. I don't even know. That is super hard. I don't really have a take. If I had to say one though, I think I would agree. Chigiri kind of the GOAT. I'm not even gonna lie, the underrated GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't really know when it comes to like feet. They're super equal, right? They can both beat out teams like individually. They both have a pretty good absolute weapon when it comes to, Bachira with dribbling, Chigiri with 44 Panther Snipe. Bachira obviously beats Chigiri in passing. And then Chigiri beats Bachira in defense. So it's like, I don't know. That's so close of a debate. Which makes it even harder. But if I were to put one above the other, like I would definitely put Chigiri equal to greater than Bachira. I think it would be like something like that.
I feel like for me it does come down to the fact that like Chigiri has an established striking weapon. And that striking weapon is of course devastating. It's got him a goal in every single Neo Egoist League match. And of course like Bachira is also carrying his team, but like you got to imagine the fact that like I believe his speed weapon outdoes Bachira's dribbling weapon in terms of keeping that ball possession. And overall, I believe Chigiri is can adapt more to different positions than Bachira can. Bachira has passing, so he's definitely a little bit more of a team player than Chigiri, but Chigiri has that more individuality in which carries him to get those goals.
Mm-hmm.
So we all say Chigiri?
Yeah,
I think it's so close of a debate. Like I'm leaning towards equal because they're so like that's so close of a debate. I can't even
we need to see more of both of them. Basically, we need to see more of both.
Yeah, for now I think my personal opinion is equal, but for context or like if we had to decide on one, dude, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just gonna say equal. I think that's gonna be my final answer.
I think the best way to look at it is this. Who is the better team, right? Just looking at professional team, not Blue Lockers. Manshine City or Barcha? Who do you think is better?
I mean, if Nagi was in dog shit, I would say Manshine because we're
just talking like no Blue Lock included, just
the
professional
no Blue
club
Lock
teams themselves. Just the club teams.
Damn.
Because I'm saying Manshine, and while Chigiri and Bachira had basically the same kinds of feats in the NEL. They've each scored a goal in every single game that they've participated in. And I think when you look at it like this, Bachira might be able to become the best player on Barcha, but if Manshine City's better, and Chigiri is now becoming the best player on Manshine, it's definitely like the comparison of if Chigiri's the best player on the better team, he's definitely the better player. He's definitely better out of Bachira and Chigiri, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see it from this. Like, Bachira doesn't have, like, a secondary mentor because we have, like, people... Well, Kaiser's not really a mentor, but what I'm saying is, like, there is a secondary in command. So, like, you go from, like, Bastard, who goes Noah at the top, and then Kaiser in second. For Manshine City, it would be Chris Prince and then Agi. Bachira doesn't have that. So, like, Manshine City is definitely, like, overall going to be the better team in comparison to Bachira because I don't think that team overall is really strong.
Yeah, I think, like, comparing the NEL teams, what the fuck does Barcha have? You know, Lavinho kind of solo, like, just straight them. Lavinho kind of carries them, like, you know, like a fucking hot pocket. It's just like there's no comparison. That has nothing to do with it. But like it's just there's no one else on Barcha besides like fucking Picasso, and that's about it. You know, so like who else is on Barcha? So I do agree with your sentiment about like, you know, better player with better this, but it really depends, right? For example, Bachira, if he's the best player of, Barca, even though Barca is shittier than Manshine, it depends how far Bachira is above, what is it called? Like Barca, right? Let's put it in numbers, right? Let's say Bachira is 100% better than the Barca members, but Chigiri is only 50% better than the Manshine members, but he's still the best player on the team. Is that debate of Bachira being 100% better equal to Chigiri being 50% better, but obviously in a better team? Yeah. So I think it's like still super debatable. I think it's still like, I don't know. I just have to say equal.
And then another question. This was a donation from Blue Cycling. He says, I say Bachira over Chigiri because if Nagi doesn't come back, Bachira will beat Chigiri in Manchan City. Because that's another way you have to look at it. If Nagi doesn't make a comeback, can Chigiri hold his own against Barca, kind of being as the focal point at that point? Do you think Chigiri can do it?
Totally, because the only other person that they would have to contest with other than Bachira would be Otoya, and I don't believe Otoya's got that. I believe Otoya's
Otoya ain't him.
Yeah. Side rant, I think Otoya should get kicked out. He has done nothing. He does not deserve.
I made a joke that didn't really land well in one of my videos. Like, for some reason, there are some Otoya glazers. Like, I said Otoya's
he's in your Discord. We can't say that. He's in your Discord. We can't.
Not just that.
But, Otoya number one.
No, Otoya stand right here. I'm gonna dye my hair. I said in one of my videos, Otoya takes off the ball a little too seriously. He doesn't touch the ball. And then some people in the comments and stuff were saying, Otoya's pretty good. He's making the U20 team compared to players like Kiyora and fucking all that stuff. But I think that's just because of plot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Otoya is just a better blind spot player in comparison. He's just a better blind spot player than Isagi. I believe getting around and getting into the penalty area for scoring goals is what he is best in doing. But of course, that opportunity can only be reproduced so many times, and we're seeing his limits now because he's not done shit.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Barou.
Oh yeah.
What would it take for you to do a whole video unironically cosplaying as Otoya? I'm talking you don't even acknowledge it. You just are cosplaying as Otoya for one whole video that might not have anything to do with him. I'm talking could we have, if I hit let's do this. If I can hit 5K by the end of this year, I'm at just over 2.8. If I can hit 5K, will you do one video? I'll pay for the cosplay if you just cosplaying as Otoya for one video.
Fucking hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd disappear. I'd pull a Matt Pat from Game Theory. I'd be gone. I'd ride off into the sunset and see a perfect day. Maybe start a farm. I don't know. I'd rather not, bro. I'd rather not. I'm not gonna lie.
So there's nothing. What about Ness?
Ness? No, okay. The only one I do, I'm not into cosplaying and stuff like that.
You're gonna put a bandana on, mate.
Dude, no. Everyone in my chat has been telling me to. I've gotten donations for it and shit. Dude, the one person that makes it, he's gone ghost. He's gone MIA. He's fucking Thanos. I don't know. Thanos snapped out of here. So I tried contacting him and stuff like that. 100% I'll pay and give a shout out to your. I think it was an Etsy thing. But he's just gone. So I think he's going to return during season 2. And then I'll get the Nanase headband and kit. But besides that, that's the only one I do. I'm not into cosplays and stuff like that. But
disappointed, bro. How you going to be an anime man and not like cosplay?
I don't know. I'm not into it. My girl's into it. But I don't know. I'm not into cosplaying and stuff like that. She tries to get me into all that stuff. But I'm personally not into it.
I cosplay as Kaiser because I got the fucking scruffy hair in the back.
Yeah, I think the only one I can pull off is Nanase because the middle part.
You gotta do Raven. You gotta do a cosplay as Kaiser, reading the psychology books and how to manipulate people. So not current Kaiser,
He's learning so he could change my mentality of current Kaiser over current Isagi.
Get him the blue lens glasses so we can that Ness gave him, so he looks all intelligent. Give him the psychology books. Just walk around a convention like that. And see how many people recognize you.
I also want to point this out. I am actually getting a blue rose tattoo soon. So,
dude, that's so hype. You gotta show it to everyone, bro. That is so hype. Honestly,
put that into your profile picture. Remove the orange sleeve and just have the blue rose tattoo on.
Dude, that's so hype.
The banner. Just had the banner as my arm, just with the blue rose
Yeah.
tattoo.
If I could get any tattoo, bro, like blue, because of the significance, and then also, you know, blue lock and shit like that, it'd either be like, you know, or that'd be like a top contender. You know, Asian parents, I'm still a little bit on the younger side. I'd get crucified, kicked out of the house, gone if I got a tattoo. That's just kind of how Asian parents are. But if I were to get one, the blue rose tattoo, like at least like a forearm, you know, a forearm tattoo of just like the thorns or some shit like that. I feel like that'd be so hype, bro.
Y'all are underrating the puzzle pieces.
The puzzle pieces?
No,
The puzzle pieces, bro.
reason
I'm
why
not
say
I like the little like turnaround shit. You know what I mean? Like a little shit
But
like that.
imagine just like on like say like on your top shoulder here. They just
Oh,
like a
like the
tattoo
back,
of,
like kind of like Naruto, dude. That you've kind of sold me on
but,
that.
like, the puzzle pieces like forming in just like black where they have like fallen off that Isagi has whenever he's like locking in. The puzzle pieces start forming on his body. Just
Yeah,
have, like,
yeah,
a
yeah.
space
That
where the
tattoo
puzzle
would
pieces
fucking
haven't formed
hurt.
yet.
That's true. That's true.
That would hurt, but it looked cool as shit.
It would look.
Yeah,
cool,
no,
but
that'd be gas. That'd be gas.
What attracted
Hey,
me-
Arrow's gonna get it. Arrow's gonna get it. 5K by the end of this year. Yeah, Arrow's gonna get it.
I'm terrified of needles, but if we hit 10K by the end of the year, I'll do it. Hit 10K by the end of the year, I'll do it as a
Blue
10K
Lock season 2 is
subscriber
coming
video.
out, bro.
I said,
Got it, bro. Just we gotta get on the grind.
hopefully I'll get the blue rose tattoo before season 2. But I said like to people that I know, I was like, dark blue is the best color to go on your body in terms of tattoo colorings. Like, what other tattoo besides black? Besides black, that's the casual thing. But like, what other color would actually fit on a body than a dark color like dark blue? Like, nothing. It doesn't
Maybe
work.
maybe dark purple.
Purple
But it
could
has to be
work.
dark. It has to be dark of anything, and I think blue and purple are the closest you're gonna get to black in terms of like shades.
Yeah, that's why I'm rocking with like the blue rose idea, because blue rose is also like one of my favorite flowers, even though it's like not really real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do this. Let's all go to the same tattoo parlor and get them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I'll get the biggest one, so I'll show my
Here's
commitment.
let's do this last one. Let's do this last take for the stream, and then we'll sign it off, and then we can continue this maybe next month. We'll do this a monthly thing, go through the community's hot takes. It'll be a good thing to engage with. I like to do it because it engages with the Blue Lock community, because I started this like a year ago, and in the past 6 months, my account has like multiplied by like 5 times its current
Dude,
Yo.
that's hype, bro.
viewership. And
Love,
I'm very
love you
grateful,
guys.
so
Love you,
I-
community. Love you, Blue Lock
Yeah.
community.
So last take
Yes,
for the stream. Ubers is better than PXG. So this is looking at it as a total team, like overall as a team. They went into a more like an app description saying that Ubers as an overall team is better than PXG as an overall team. This includes for Ubers, this includes everyone from Blue Lock and Lorenzo, and on PXG it includes Charles and like Rinshiro. Yeah. So it's like their current formation versus current formation.
Okay.
A situation.
Ooh. All right, who wants to go
Someone-
first?
There's more notable players on PXG at the moment.
There's more notable players. Yeah.
I'd say PXG just because of like recency of the fact that like PXG did beat Ubers, but I can understand why people would lean towards Ubers in terms of like Mark Snuffy's fucking a massive football IQ. That is overwhelming in itself, and the fact that Noah was just like stall the fucker out. We
Oh,
can't
yeah.
deal with this pressure, man.
I
And
wasn't
it-
even considering Masters. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
even thinking about Loki or Snuffy. That
Course.
changes it like a ton.
Snuffy fucking obliterates literally almost every master. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, because like he was matching Noah in terms of like he was holding him off with a body press for Barou to
I'm
score.
honestly saying Mark Snuffy's the best master, and that may seem weird
Yeah.
because Noah's the top striker, but like best master, coaching ability, overall ability, Mark Snuffy beats him. That is just how I
Yeah.
feel.
I say Chris Prince in terms of best like teaching and best master, but Snuffy's a very close second. I say it's
enough.
just Chris Prince because of the personalized training regimen that he gives every Blue Locker. So that way, no matter the situation, they can improve on their own. With Ubers, they're formulated to support Barou, so when they get to the U20 team, they're gonna have to come up with whole new plans. But with Chris Prince, that training in their practice and everything that they were working towards, that's gonna stick with them even when they go to the U20. That's just why I say Chris Prince.
Yeah.
But for this, I definitely think Ubers.
You need to give me
Because-
that training regimen, man.
Yeah, I think Ubers personally, just because Charles right now doesn't want to pass Turin, and again we have to consider before this is only this match where he's refusing to pass, but one of their two strikers isn't getting utilized, and Shido is getting locked down. So, do you think Aiku could lock down Shido?
Yeah, probably. Aiku, unless if it was like, okay. Another thing is like, do you guys think Aiku got nerfed? I personally think he got nerfed going into the NEL. You know, obviously he got Metavision and stuff, but I still think he got nerfed. It's more because, you know, the whole team is defensive, so you have to give Nico and RU their time to shine as well. And apparently Sundo. But I still think like Aiku got a little nerfed, so it really depends, because, you know, Aiku did that whole like shebang fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu on Shido before the U20 match. Obviously, he can't do that in a game. And when it comes to defensive feats, I don't know, Aiku kind of the GOAT.
I don't believe Aiku was nerfed as much as he was just outmatched by like Don Lorenzo taking the main stage as that top defender. Because Don Lorenzo is just a better defender than Aiku.
Yeah.
I don't think he got nerfed. I just don't think he improved significantly as everyone else. I feel like he basically just improved his defensive sense, as opposed to like, because when we're comparing development, I feel like a lot of people look at it like Isagi or Kiyori or even like Kunigami, where their entire playstyles get drastically improved by developing a new weapon or developing a new ego or whatever. Aiku, I feel like he's almost the exact same as he was in the U20 match. And the thing with that is it's not a bad thing, because Aiku in the U20 match was already like one of the best players on that pitch.
Yeah.
Like, aside from Sai, he was the best player on the U20 team.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it was. And I think going into the NEL, I don't think he got nerfed. I just think he was very relative to other players. It's just he didn't improve because he was already up there. So, like, he already had Metavision in the U20 match. He just, like, he could just only awaken it during its flow state. Now he can do it outside of flow. But he still doesn't, like, fully know how to utilize Metavision. He's kind of... The way I label it is as... I call it incomplete Metavision, just because as a defender, you're not really rotating your head. You're kind of just looking in front of you because everything is in front of you as a defender. So it's incomplete in the sense of they don't fully utilize it in the way that Isagi does to where it's its max. So I don't think he got nerfed. It's more just like he's just he's relative to everyone else. He didn't get nerfed. He just didn't improve as drastically as other
restricted because he's playing defender.
Yeah, he's just like he didn't improve much.
Because he was already that good. Yeah,
he was already that good. That's just my...
that makes sense.
Thing.
Yeah.
We all know Lorenzo could lock down Shido, though, right? We're all
Okay. And I also want to say this, like, Kunigami, not to cut you off or anything like that, but no, Kunigami, what is it called, is currently locking down Shido.
Yeah.
And Aiku is better than Kunigami as a defender. I think we can agree on that. So I think if it came down to a man mark, what is it called? I think Aiku can still stop Shido and stuff.
I mean, Don Lorenzo was locking down Kaiser, so that's proof in its own.
Yeah.
You want to don't get how we never really got to see Lorenzo lock down Kaiser. Realistically, he kind of just stayed with him, and no one really passed to Kaiser.
Yeah, that's
the only time he got locked down was when Ness passed to Kaiser, and Lorenzo intercepted the pass, or just got to the pass before him, and then he kind of just stayed with him. I really wish we got to see Lorenzo like kind of wall Kaiser, like prevent him from moving anywhere. I would have loved to see that, but Lorenzo didn't really do much except kind of just get in the way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he blocked the Kaiser impact with his face, he intercepted the pass to Ness, but he never really locked down the way that Kunigami is like staying on Shido and is like actually pressing and like becoming a wall that Shido just can't get through. Yeah. We never saw Lorenzo do that. So it's sad that he's like, I can lock down the ace, but we never got to see him really lock down. He kind of just like he eliminated a passing route, I guess would be more of.
Yeah, but I guess that is kind of like, in terms of, you know, locking down, if you're considering, you know, he was being physical like how Kunigami is with Shido right now, I guess you're kind of right. I still think because he eliminated that passing route, that's kind of like the whole like, you know, Lorenzo lockdown Kaiser thing.
Yeah, I don't deny that. I don't deny that he did it. I'm just saying I wish we got to see more of him like actually pressing Kaiser to like more attempts being made towards Kaiser and Lorenzo stop them. That's what I guess is what I was wanting more to see rather than Lorenzo intervening with Kaiser. I wanted to see someone attempt to get to Kaiser and Lorenzo stop that. I wanted to see more of that. I guess would be what I'm what I wanted to see, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of just what I was hoping for.
No, I think I agree. I think Lorenzo should have showed himself out more, or like they should have showed more of Lorenzo, but
yeah,
he still did pretty good.
Yeah. But in terms of this, because we keep getting off.
Yeah.
To the original question. Because it's good questions that relate back to this of like, could Aiku do it? Because if Aiku couldn't do it, Lorenzo would have to mark him. But then who's gonna mark Rain at that point? Because if you have Aiku can lock down Shido, Lorenzo would definitely be on Rain. Who would you take against Charles? Like, do you think Sendo and Nico could double team Charles and limit him, kind of the way that Isagi and Raichi were limiting Snuffy?
I feel like Nico just will develop. I feel like I call Nico a poor man's Isagi, right? In terms of the fact that like his development is slower than Isagi's, but he is on track to be basically an Isagi double. He would be in line with like a Hiyori in trying to lock down Charles. But I don't believe it's like strictly with that, because if IQ is locking down Shido, then Charles is not really going to have that motivation to play as well. So I mean, of course we've seen like the fact there's a little bit of a bait, but without that passing option, it's not going to be as enjoyable for Charles. Therefore, Nico doesn't really have to do his job as much, and can also just focus on making good attacks with for Barou as well.
Yeah.
Do you think? Actually, no. I'm thinking about it. Aryu would be useful as well. Now I'm thinking about it. Like Nico, Sendo, and Aryu, I think could most definitely stop Charles. All three of them. Aryu can handle the air. Nico can handle the ground, and Sendo can handle pressing. Yeah. Like I think that's a good way that they could definitely lock down Charles. Because who else are the key players on that? Karasu. Like you have Karasu, Nanase, and Tokimitsu. Tokimitsu is getting so like.
Tokimitsu is useless, bro. I'm not even gonna
lie.
Yeah,
bro fell off so hard.
He was overpowering Barou in almost every instance in the second selection. Do you think Barou could overpower him now? Because
probably.
So,
in terms of plot, currently Barou is definitely overpowering Tokimitsu, because we haven't seen anything from the fucker. Like, he's
I think it really comes down to this, right? You have PXG's complete offense over Uber's defense, even though PXG won against Ubers, right? If we're talking about like current Ubers, current PXG, or like in total and stuff like that, I think current, like right now, Ubers is better than PXG, because going into the PXG match, we all thought, this is like the big bad. This is the final boss, so we thought we'd see like a serious Tokimitsu, Zantetsu being trained by Loki, Nanase.
Zantetsu too.
Nanase there. And like, Shido and Rin chemical reactions. We have yet to see like anything of that. And we also haven't seen Rin Destroyer mode. And then also like add Charles in there, right? So it's kind of like a disappointment. I think before the PXG game, you could literally say PXG better than Ubers just because of their talent and stuff like that. In a peak form PXG, right, where you have the fucking full confidence Tokimitsu, the Zantetsu running around, I think they do beat out in Ubers. But I think right now, and it's probably going to stay this way unless, like, later on they start developing everyone, Ubers is better than PXG right now.
Yeah, and of course to include the Masters as well. Like, Mark Snuffy is better than Loki, and I feel like...
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of Loki, but, like, I feel like Mark Snuffy is better than Loki.
You know what? I think I have to change my opinion. I think PXG is over. Because the only situation I can think about right now, realistically, you would have... agree or disagree with me on this. Aiku would mark Shido, right?
Yep.
You have Aryu, you have Nico, and you have Sendo pressing Charles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Lorenzo pressing Rin. And that takes off basically all of Ubers. That leaves Barou and the remaining Ubers wingers to score goals. But then you have Nanase, Tokimitsu, Karasu, and Zantetsu. I think those four could stop Barou and those other Ubers wingers. just them on their, just those four. Zantetsu has the speed. We saw him in the second selection use it to press Barou. We have Karasu with the defensive midfield plays. We have Tokimitsu and Nanase to kind of restrain Barou in terms of muscling. Granted, Barou would probably overpower them, but there's two of them. It's definitely going to be a hassle. And at that point, I think it would come down to Loki and Snuffy being subbed in and them having to score. Because it would eventually come down to, in my mind, Barou would not be able to break from those four players, and you'd have Shido eventually get away from Aiku. I think he would eventually get away and score enough goals to either tie it back up or win PXG the game. Because I feel like the first person to fail would be Nico, Sendo, and Aryu stopping Charles, and then Shido getting away from Aiku just for 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's getting away from Lorenzo. And the only way the tides switch for any team is the Masters coming into play. And it comes down to whether or not Loki's speed is enough to restrain Snuffy. Because if Snuffy comes in from one of the wingers, Loki would have to play defensive. He'd have to. That'd be the only way they could do anything. And on the off chance they do get possession, Snuffy would then switch to defense. It'd basically just be a draw, I think, until one team slips up. And I feel like Aiku would slip up before Karasu, Zantetsu, Tokimitsu, and Nanase. That's just what I think. I think that Aiku would slip up before those four did with Barou. Yeah. That's just my thought process. What do you think?
I believe you have it fairly like nail on the head kind of deal. There is a lot of equal of course potential between the two teams. So how I would see it is like, of course, as you say, but like the most likely to slip up, of course, in terms of immaturity at the moment, we've seen Charles slip up multiple times. Rin, of course, can be emotional. That could lead to a slip up. I believe Shido is not going to slip up when given an opportunity. So, of course, that is purely down to IQ defending. And if IQ misses that opportunity, Shido will score.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it feels relatively equal. But, of course, I feel like Ubers has the strategy in order to adapt. Whilst Loki's team is all about it's about the ideologies. Like you see Ubers have like this critical defense formation, and in which when they have possession of the ball, they do a full offense position in order to support Barou. And then it's about their team trying to lock down Uber's team, because you don't refer to that, because Ubers don't really have as good of defenders as no, Ubers has better defenders than PXG. PXG don't have those that defensive formation set in motion to lock down that absolute pressure. So I bring you that, and of course, like at the end of the day, Mark Snuffy over Loki. I believe Mark Snuffy will bring the total advantage back in their favor if they were ever under any pressure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think, Cardio?
Okay. It really comes down to like how good the players are if we're like debating them at their peaks. Because if it comes down to like PXG is all about individuality, right? Or like everyone doing their own thing, kind of, or like relying on their specific players. However, the specific players right now are kind of dog shit, right? Like Tokimitsu's not doing much, Zantetsu's not doing much. Karasu's doing pretty good, right? But the rest is like, they're doing okay, you know? They're not at what we expected them to do. So I think in terms of that case, yeah, they would slip up more, and like they wouldn't be able to pull off the offensive, like super offensive plays that even Uber's defense can't even like defend. But you know, they're not at that peak. So I still think, yeah, I think you guys, I don't know. I think Uber's I don't even know. Even though PXG has the numbers, and they are, what is it called? They have the numbers, and they are good. They're not good enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's just like my take right now. If they were at their peaks, though, I think PXG's potential is kind of nuts.
Yeah, PXG potential is way over Uber's, but Uber's current like strategy formations is very overwhelming to deal with.
Yeah. But yep, those are all the hot takes for today. We will hopefully get back to this in whenever your guys' schedules line up, I am available to do another one of these streams whenever. So it's up to you guys. Whenever you guys are interested in doing another one of these things, hopefully once a month would be my hope. Because that gives about usually about 3 or 4 chapters, given break weeks for character development, and then we can come back to these takes with new, fresh looks, and gives the community more time to send in their takes. I'll probably ask your Discord again, as well as PO2 Scans and BLUELOCK HQ, to just kind of throw them out there and get some hot takes for later. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the live. I want to thank you, Hiryo. Thank you, Raven, for tuning in, taking the time to come to this channel and spit some takes, your opinion. It's good to get some outside views on these kinds of lives. Again, thank you all for super chatting. It means the world to me. I've never been in this situation before, so I'm very giddy. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. Yeah, I will hopefully see you guys in another stream. Maybe these guys will be here. Maybe one of the voice actors from BLUELOCK will be here. Who knows? I'm gonna try and make it work.